Hello, and welcome to day 14, also known as the final day of the road to teaching, which is really sad now because I'm not going to become a teacher. With a heavy heart, I've resigned from teaching before I began. And, I feel like I want to cry. I'm not going to lie. I wasn't overly attached to the idea of becoming a teacher, per se. That specifically isn't what is upsetting me. What's upsetting me is I feel like I've lost, I've given up on something, I've quit, I've disappointed people, because I know I have disappointed people. People are disappointed in me, and that is not something I ever want. However, I'm aware that I've got to put myself first in this instance, and it also feels like a major weight off my back, this year-long course that was just going to lead me down a path of destruction of my sense of self-worth, and all sorts of other good things being destroyed by it. So, Road to Teaching can go public, as now can all of my other YouTube videos again. And I'm going to be doing a Twitch stream tonight, probably drunk. And I can just get back to having a life. And that life being the life I want to live. I've got to keep applying for jobs. I'll be doing that before streaming, for sure. I need to tell my family at some point that I quit today. Oh, my spine. But yeah, I'm looking for my hot sauce. It's in there. It's fine. I'll go without. I'll just use this instead. Yeah. I'll need to tell them, and they're not going to be pleased with me because I said I was going to give it weeks, and I haven't. But if I just let them know how terrible I felt, then I'm sure they'll understand. They may not be happy about it, but that's just, they'll deal with it, and they'll get past it. And they're the ones that I'm mostly upset about having disappointed. Grab my wine glass. Yes, the road to teaching may be over, but let's do a reflection on how it went. The first week was okay. Road to Teaching 1 through 7 was boring, unusual. Usually I would have been in college for that, but COVID, so I wasn't. And overall, it wasn't, super useful either. But I've learnt the professional standards and all of that for teaching specifically. I think they are pretty applicable everywhere. Here's how you present yourself properly. These are things that they should have taught in school, but they didn't. I've got that work ethic. Get up, go to work, etc. Whatever time it is, which I haven't had, because I hadn't had to do that at university, really. 9 a.m.s could be skipped if I really wanted to. I didn't, but I could have done. And I've never really had a full, commitment like that I was really wanting to go to, which I was for the first week of teacher training. Day 8. Day 9, however, I got there and I was having doubts, which isn't good. If I'm having doubts that early, it's not good. But I kept going, worked past my doubts, and kept it up. I put in the hours, I put in the work, and I was exhausted. That was fine. I wanted to keep going. And then I learned about the 100% of the time thing. And I thought about it some more, about the doubts I was having Tuesday, and this 100% of the time thing I'd heard about, but wasn't sure what it meant. I learnt more on Friday that as a teacher, you are 100% of the time a teacher. You're not necessarily teaching, but teaching is the smallest part of the job. There's protecting and mentoring, progressing, helping the students. That's fine. Then there's teaching, and that's the main priority set. However, this whole British values, anti-radicalisation nonsense. I hate democracy. I say hate. I dislike democracy with a modicum of passion. Same goes for the government and the rule of law. On top of which, I think people should be allowed to say and do whatever they want. Well, say whatever they want and do whatever they want so long as it doesn't hurt anyone else. You're not allowed to say whatever you want, and that was something that even before I started teacher training I was worried about. But now it's not just the students aren't allowed to swear, and I'm not allowed to swear, and stuff like that. I'm not allowed to say, I can understand why a terrorist would do what they do. Down the drain. Because I could. If you put yourself in their shoes, you might not agree with their logic, but there is logic there usually. So, overall of the weekend, days 11, 12, 13, off the road, really messed me up. I was trying not to think about it, and I was thinking about it. Today, day 14, I went in and I gave it my best. I made so many notes in my observation. I had a great meeting with my mentor where we discussed both this, not wanting to teach anymore, but also what I would do going forward if I were to continue. And this is making me feel sad, like I've disappointed him again. But, yeah, we discussed a lot. It was good. I paid attention. I was responsive. I was proactive. It was all good. But the whole afternoon I was just thinking, I can't do this. This is not the sort of person I am. And neither is it the sort of person I want to be. So I got back. On the way back, I was trying to contact the head of the Norfolk Teacher Training Centre. Eventually got through. We had a relatively long conversation on the phone whilst I was walking my bike back, because you don't hold your phone and cycle at the same time, and I don't have a cycling headset, and even if I did, it'd have to be attached to the helmet because safety first. But yes, it was not going well, and she told me she saw a lot of potential in me, that she didn't want me to quit. She understood that she'd have to accept it if I do, but she asked me to talk to one of my friends or someone who does know me, because she accepted that she didn't. My mentor said the same. So I contacted a few of my friends, and one of them got back to me relatively quick, and I sent them a short list of reasons why I don't want to continue. And she said, do you want me to pick a side, or to support you to stay or go, or do you want me to be impartial? And I said impartial, that's what I'm here for, advice. And she asked a couple questions, like how long have you been doing it for, what point in the course are you, all that sort of stuff, to which I answered, and turns out her brother's a teacher. And she gave me an insight into his life, how it changed when he became a teacher, and a bit more about her life, because we've not been particularly close recently, but we do know each other relatively well. And so she practically said the same thing that I've been saying, which is, if I change my mind after this, which I could do, and I'm perfectly well entitled to, I can go back and reapply next year, year after, 10 years from now, 20 years from now. If I want to, I can go back. Now, I don't want to go into a random job, so I've got a short list here. Security, librarian, warehouse operative, delivery driver, freelance writer, maybe? Tutor, model, therapist/counsellor, and bookstore employee. That's just my short list. I'm also going to go back into YouTube streaming stuff, because why not? I'll have the time. And I'll be allowed to, because I wouldn't be before. But I don't expect to make any money off the YouTube streaming. Just like I plan to keep writing my ebook and my Night Self-Defense worksheet book thing and all of that. But I need a job. But I'm going to be applying for Universal Credit as soon as possible, which is probably going to be today, because I can say I've sent in my withdrawal. So I've withdrawn. Because I've sent it off, done and dusted. I can go to sleep whenever I want tonight. I can get up whenever I want tomorrow. Overall, jobs are good. Teaching, not for me. Gonna have to break the news to a few people, but whatever. Anyway, I will catch you cats on the flip-flop. The road to teaching has ended, but let's see where the next road takes me. Goodbye.